Hello. Hello. Darshan and Bar. That's my Mac here. Remove some FIXMEs, some commented out FIXMEs. Yeah, I did some fixing already off stream yesterday after midnight. Didn't stream because I thought it's so late. Well, it's only on my part of the world, of course, but yeah, I don't know. Normally, you know. Anyway, there's a FIXME here. Apparently, you want to improve the debug name of this object, and the object is sampler. I'm from the Netherlands. Okay, it seems to have little to do with the caller here. The caller being the constructor of a texture object. There is no .m sampler inside here, is there? Where does this even refer to? M sampler. M sampler is part of texture. Okay, that's strange. Oh no, it's not strange at all. This constructor is implemented in terms of another constructor. So you just have to find the other constructor. This I guess is the first one, aka this one. And then the sampler is being moved to here, move sampler. And sampler is a unique sampler that's being passed as the second last argument of the constructor. Which is this. So the reason I say the debug name should end on .m sampler is because we call a constructor that then moves that into m sampler. Now I want to have a full debug names, so there must be something in front of it that tells me where the texture is stored. Well, we don't know where the texture is stored unless I would pass it. I think the way this works is that I'm calling this and then later I am assigning the rest, meaning we call operator assignment operator here. And then that sets the final sampler of the final object. This is just a temporary, and the temporary is being constructed like this. We're going to have to find the code that is constructing that temporary. It's going to look like something like this, I guess. Or possibly like this. Nope. Okay, this happens in the user code. We have currently 2 test applications, frame resource count and uniform buffers. Well, let's use the last one. VI. So indeed, a texture is being created, and then that is being assigned to the final thing. So what I want to do is, for example, in this case, it should say msample texture dot and then msampler, because this is the texture, and then the object, the sampler is stored in msampler of the texture object. So the sampler debug name must become sample underscore texture dot underscore sampler. So this must be put in front of the other thing. And that is passed when I'm constructing it, I think. Right here. Although also that is rather incomplete, I would say, because that thing here, though the msample texture, is part of the window class. I'm pretty sure I'm having a special function to create debug names from within a window class. And if I'm not mistaken, that is called oh, my memory. I guess it starts with debug and then debug name. It has a color. I think that was it. No. I cannot remember it. The hunt for the debug name. Maybe this one, debug name prefix. Yeah, I think that's one. So I think that the synchronous window has a debug name prefix function. Should even be able to find it here. Whereas a synchronous window, your synchronous engine, and in Vulkan, why is there no synchronous window here? Application synchronous window.cxx. It's synchronous window. .h. There it is. I think I have to call, I should use this, all right? So we go back to the window class, where we create a texture. I'm going to sample texture. You would think I would need to use here the full thing, like debug name prefix, but that's probably not going to work, because, well, debug name prefix is then a member function of this base class here. Let me make 100% sure. Yes, it is, of course. Just well there. This is a namespace task, and then I have a debug name prefix function here. But let me make sure. So we call debug name prefix super early. We call this one super early. Okay. Well, it doesn't look like, and it could not. It should work. It just creates an ambifix owner. Okay, we're not there yet. This one. So I have one for logical devices and one for synchronous windows. Now this is the synchronous window one, and then we create an ambifix of the prefix. Ambifix from, I mean, prefix and owning window as postfix. And then the logical device is initialized with something that is probably not initialized. I think this is where it fails. This pointer is not being initialized yet. Well, not this pointer, but rather this pointer. Yeah, this pointer is a null pointer upon creation of a window, and then it is set during state of some task. It's probably not initialized yet at that point. I mean, and there must have been a reason that I didn't do this in the first place. So instead what I'm doing is just storing the sample texture, and then later, when at the time of the assignment, we can finally call this debug name prefix function. Then it should work by then. So this constructor is this constructor here, and that just stores the debug name in, well, passes it to the base class. I guess this one. And that initializes an ambifix from the debug name. And ambifix is not an ambifix owner, so that works. So you have an ambifix, where ambifix is two strings, a suffix and a prefix and a suffix that wraps other things. So that way I'm constructing my debug names. And this mbfix is created early. It's private, but we also have an accessor for it. Okay. And well, that's done for all the shader resources, so also for uniform buffers, which are also derived from this base class. And I do the same thing. They just store the name of this very member here, which in fact then is a member of the synchronous window. I'm not going to store that it is a member of window, because what in the end the debug name prefix going to do is just add the hexadecimal value of the this pointer, and the this pointer of the synchronous window object is equal to the this pointer of the window object, because it's not multiple inheritance, it's just normal inheritance. So it doesn't say window, but it says which pointer it is in. And well, that should be sufficient. But then how to construct a debug name? I guess up on this assignment, right? So here we do an assignment, and now at this point I can call the debug name prefix function. Kind of looks like I just should well, I don't have to add it here, because this is all texture. The sampler is going to be created. No, it's not entirely true what I say. The msample texture is stored inside this texture object. So I think we need to do some constructing indeed inside assignment operator of the texture. There we are. This simply does not assign. It calls assignment on the base class, which contains our debug name. Suppose that's good enough. There's a comment also. Classes move only. No, do not move the ambifix and or base descriptor set key. Those are only initialized in place with constructor that takes just the ambifix. So this object that we are assigning to just has the simpler texture string. And the thing that we assign from, no, that what we assign to also has the debug name prefix. And what we assign from has the name for the sampler. And then we call base. I don't think base does have it, does it? Actually it does, yeah. So we should be able to do everything inside the assignment operator of base, which is definitely not doing anything of the sort yet. How about I'm going to print all this information and then see if we have everything that we need. So I'm going to print, and this is always, and then we print the ambifix of the current object. I would say that is the only thing we have here. Yes. Let's print the ambifix of both then. So also the RHS. In which case I have to use the accessor here. What about my debug name prefix function? That would be part of that's only part of this context here, or scope. I got the feeling that it was wrong to use to assign msample texture as a string, because it's here that I know how to construct the ambifix of it. Seems much more logical to just pass it here and then construct the whole thing. I don't know why I did it the way I did it. I would say what we need to do is just a command tw debug only, and then pass the debug name prefix like that. However, No, I don't think there isn't. There isn't no however. This is how it should be done. I'm really confused why I did it the way I've been doing it. I must have been confused then. Now it's morning. Well, I just woke up anyway. So I'm at my most fresh. I think I'm right now. This is how it should be done. And that means that the constructor needs to get an mbfix owner argument added to it for a start, otherwise this would not compile. Yeah, well, let's go with this. Slightly confused now. You have to pass an ambifix owner or just an ambifix. How many of these examples here just take an ambifix? If that's sufficient, then that will be more flexible. I could look for this string and then see it better. So this is an ambifix. There's an ambifix owner. And here too, most of them are just ambifixes. All of them are const references. So let's say if I look for const, then I get all the cases where it is 69 cases against owner, 8 cases. Maybe you should just leave the owner out and see if that works, and if it works, then it's probably better. Oh, that's strange. Shader modules push back. Oh, it pushes back what create model returns. So create model takes his ambifix owner. Which is then passed to create shader module. Which takes an ambifix. So I don't think we need this does not need to be an owner, does it? Will I just remove this owner here? Create module of the SPIR-V cache. Before I make too many changes, let me just try to compile this. Hey Ratin, how are you? Actually, yes, I have it. And hey Ratin already told you what the link is. Great, thank you. Let me minimize OBS so you can actually see Discord. Yeah, vulkan ambifix has not been declared. Okay, that's slightly annoying. So there used to be an ambifix owner, and now it is an ambifix. Ambifix owner is declared down there. If ambifix owner was declared, then the ambifix also declared. And they are in the same namespace. There is no way that this is not working. What is it talking about? What? Because it is forward declared somewhere. Where is the forward declaring? I guess that then is in one of the headers. And I don't really care. I'm just going to add it here as well. So if def cw debug and if, and then I'm going to add a class ambifix. Although really, yeah, well, it belongs there anyway. I think I'm going to replace, I mean, if I use a forward declaration for ambifix owner, then it's going to be for a function argument, and I'm going to change all the ambifix owners into ambifix. Therefore, the forward declaration itself probably should be changed in the end to ambifix anyway. And it compiles, so we can continue with this, I guess. I was looking for this. Still 8. Okay, can someone explain that? How could it be still 8? I just changed 2 of them. Oh, that's the reason. Or isn't it? Oh, well, I'm still editing this. Just back out of it. Yeah, for some mysterious reason I cannot write an ambifix. I have to add the debug name to it. Which concatenates the prefix and the suffix. What I really should do, if I think, is add support for writing it, and then just print the prefix and the suffix separately. The object name, I mean. Yeah, actually asks, what is the use of this? Well, if you get validation errors from the validation layer of Vulkan, then you just get the hex values and you don't understand anything of it. So it's pretty important to have good debug names for every Vulkan object. And the debug names that I did choose just describe exactly their C++ name, including the names of the objects that they are stored in. That's the whole thing. And that is being built up from in the call stack. Like you call something, you know where you're going to store a certain object, and then you call something, and that creates, say, the Vulkan object. Then it concatenates the names of the class members, and that concatenation is done with an ambifix, because I have both prefixes and suffixes, and I want to concatenate stuff in the middle, not just at the end or at the beginning. I'm going to show an example in a while when I run the program. You have to, at the very least, look at the result of what I'm changing now. No matching function for call to Vulkan shader builder shader resource texture. Blah 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 blah. Vulkan ambifix owner. Candidates. That's just a move constructor. I'm going to guess I just didn't update the declaration of this. Why do all of them end in memory create info? Okay, I didn't add it at all. So let's add it, comma, GW debug only. And I'm going to add an mbfix const reference mbfix And this prefix then is going to be passed to the other constructor. So the same thing here. We now pass an prefix, which is then being passed to. Well, I might have the habit of putting comma something on a new line. So let's do it like this here. And it kind of looks dirty-ish. But yeah, I know. Got to stick to your principles. And then that means that this thing is being called with an prefix argument. Right, which then I am going to store, I guess. This is nonsensical. Sorry, I need to add it there. So yes, I'm going to store it. Like in... How am I going to store it? Cannot store this. I would have to pass it to the base class, I think. Alright, I wanted to get rid of the whole debug name thing, because I thought it was kind of nonsensical. But I'm still... Let's see, we're not creating anything here. Yeah, we do. Create image view, yeah. And the image, I guess, as well. And there are FIXMEs here as well, so we're just going to move the prefix to both of them. Plus prefix. I don't understand that anymore. And the sampler should already have it, so I don't need this anyway. So the prefix is now moved to maybe I'm going to get into troubles, I have to admit though, that the base is also used for the uniform buffer. Oh well. Let's first get it to work for textures. create sampler. So I'm just going to pass here the ambifix again. Dot sampler. Yeah, I guess you can still do that. So I'm having the ambifix and then we add sampler. I think we just deleted all the FIXMEs. So if it works, then we did make progress, at least. It's not going to work, but after it works, hard tuber, I'm using Arch. I would not recommend Arch for beginners. Start with another distribution. Okay, the compilers. In member function, virtual void create textures. Error no matching function for call to vulkan shader builder shader resource texture. Because now there's an ambifix missing here. Okay, and that would be here, if you say so. And that is where? In frame resources. Well, okay, seems to make sense because I've not changed everything. So here we need also a comma debug only, and then pass an ambifix. Well, we are now inside window, so I can do again debug name prefix. And then dot background textures. Okay, let me make sure that the dot must be typed actually. Just do a quick search here. Apparently not. I don't use dots here. Nope. So the stuff that I just added was not correct. Simple texture, there's 110. I see another one. I saw another one. Where's the other one? Saw it. No, I don't see it anymore. Let's just search for this quote dot. What? Well, maybe that was the only one then. So doing it like this, I need to type the dot. Pretty sure of that. So you should have a lot of those. Yes, and maybe even none that does not start with a dot. Let's try that. So anything but a dot. Nothing. Well, a few. Yeah, this an arrow and another arrow and something fancy. Oh, okay. No matching function for call to vulkan, shader builder, shader resource texture, blah 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 blah. We don't have. What was it again? Yeah, this is again a missing MPFix. We should have a few of those. Which is then again debug name prefix and then the name of where are we? Synchronous window. This is just a temporary thing. Yeah, I have those more, but not really very interesting to give a debug name. And or maybe this texture ends up somewhere. Let's see if we can find that. This texture thing is being moved here. No, that's a texture feeder. Ready, sampler, return texture. That's for an upload texture thing. Oh boy. Let's for now just call it texture so it compiles, but yeah, at least let's see if we have any clue where upload texture ends up. See if making a copy of it. Control T. No, Control Top. It's called from imgui. And here. No, that's just a declaration. So really, I'm only using it from imgui. Whoa, that's so it ends up in mfont texture of imgui. I do not have any support for imgui, really. I mean, I only can point out where objects are if they are element of a window or of the logical device. Now, imgui itself is also part of something, probably this MPFix. So you could pass this MPFix, and hell, why not? Let's do it. Command CW debug only. So I'm going to pass the MPFix, dot font texture. I think that's how it should be done. See, now you see what the MPFix is needed for. MPFix being passed to this function, and it contains information about where the imgui object is stored, somewhere inside the window probably. And then inside the imgui object, I'm going to store a texture in mfont texture. So the only thing I have to do here is say, well, extend it with mfont texture. And then this function is going to call this function is then going to call a constructor of texture, which creates both a sampler and an image, which both end up in etc. So it's super complex stuff, and the only way I could get it right was with this ambifix trick. So I added an ambifix to this one. What? But this is synchronous window. Oh, interesting. So I should not have used debug name prefix here. But ambifix that was passed. Definitely confusing. This is going to be returned to the ambifix. I guess this is just a debug name then. It's not an ambifix? No, it is an ambifix. I just want to pass ambifix as is. Yeah, I think so. Starting to understand why I just added FIXME. I was probably inside in the middle of a very difficult operation, something unrelated. And I didn't think I could do all this at that moment. Ambifix has not been declared. That's annoying. It has been declared inside namespace vulkan, if we include this. It's being used a lot already, except that then it's an owner. How the hell would ambifix not be declared when I can do this? Doesn't make any sense. Oh, vulkan ambifix. Oh. I think the compiler should have told me. Did you mean? Maybe I'm using the wrong compiler for that. One compiler is telling me, did you mean? And then the other one isn't. Using Clang at the moment. No, I'm using G++. Huh? I thought I switched to Clang. Very sure I switched to Clang, in fact. An environment-based build system. See, I'm using Clang. So if I change the compiler, for example, and I switch to another window, then that window still has another terminal, and that has the old environment. Ouch. Too many arguments. Two function expected 8 have 9. Okay, that's definitely a case of not having added the ambifix argument for the in the declaration. What the hell is this? Feels like I have some kind of I don't know what's the English. Storing. Disturbance or something like that between the communication of my wireless keyboard USB connection. But probably something else, but still. That's how it feels. No matching constructor for initialization of texture. Node candidate constructor not viable. Cannot convert initializer list to what? Argument to VK unique sampler. Requires 8 arguments, 7 were provided. Well, I think we have in total 4 or 5 of those things. Otherwise, I would need a oh, it's already compiled. So I guess I have them. I think I got rid of the FIXMEs anyway. So yeah, those FIXMEs were between quotes. So let's see if this now works in the sense that yeah, now how to find them back. I think I was using always somewhere. It's printing here. Ambifix is M sample texture. On the right hand side, ambifix is not set. That's not going to work. I have too many DC always. Start from the top again. I think just look for ambifix equals. There should be a dot in front of M font texture, that's clear. No, 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 no. There is a dot in front of it. What the hell? What the hell? How is this then possible? Why would the dot suddenly disappear? No, we still have the dot. I think this is the dot. It does have the correct name in the sense that it says created object imgui dot font texture in object, and that would be the member. Well, this is wrong as well then. Dot image view should not come after the pointer but before it. So this, I think this is the window pointer, and then the window has this imgui object, which has a font texture object, which has an image view object. So this dot image view should be get appended here. That went wrong. And this then is, I guess, old code that was using the string that I'm just passing, the string that I'm going to remove. This whole ambifix is not being used anymore. I guess not. There's some code to remove. I have to remove some code. I mean, if this one worked, then basically the image works. Yeah, it's the same thing. We have the image is wrong, the image view, I mean, gets appended after it, and the sampler as well. So we need to get those three good. That's three things. I thought there were only two. Oh, an image. Yeah, okay. We have an image and an image view. But these three things are being created. It means that they must be vulkan handles. Normally I call all my vulkan handles something with VH underscore. So that is missing here and here. Let's look into that as well. And then all three should exist inside the font texture object. Let's do one thing at a time. Look at that. It's easier to delete code when it just already works. So I think this is nonsensical. Okay, let's change it anyway. What was I looking for? The type of M-font texture. So I can just, that is a texture. Okay, so I can just go here and then jump to texture. And indeed, you have 3 of them. Oh, they do not have a VH in front of it because they are unique unique pointers. That is kind of correct then. So this is pointing to a vulkan handle, sorry, to a vulkan object then. This one as well. This is not a vulkan object, and then we have a base which also is not vulkan objects, and we have a memory image. And I guess that one, that would be this one. That one has the MVH image. Let's look at this one. This MVH image is created somewhere. Yeah, I would say that this is not correct then. Wait a minute. No, it's nonsense. So we only need to set the debug name at the moment we actually create a new vulkan handle. And if then later I copy the vulkan or move the vulkan handle to some other pointer, that doesn't matter. And the name is internally linked to the object. So this looks good. So not just looking at the assignment to this variable, but the actual creation. That would be here. And I have a print on, and that's it. So this is the assignment that I meant, because here it is created. And then here I'm actually passing .mvh image. And this whole plus ambifix is then wrong, I guess. Doesn't seem to make sense to me. It should be ambifix, just like it always is, isn't it? Oh wait, set debug name already. Must be a string. Okay, this and finally we get somewhere where the object is really being created. That is, we call onLogicalDevice, a function that creates a thing. And we just got the handle, freshly created. Then it calls debug set name with that handle, and then yeah, the name that I constructed from everything. And debug set name is defined as do while 0, which in fact is calling vulkan debug set object name with var args. That's going to work. We had a string here, but now we have an ambifix. Well, that should just magically work because it's it already accepts an ambifix here. Yeah, then we had two others, but I'm going to try this one first. So I do VI, or shall I do less? I think I do less, because then I keep to see my colors. Although now I don't have a history of a search, so I have to type it by hand. And yeah, what was it? Let's look for sampler. So that looks okay. We have an msample texture, which is a texture, and that has a object msampler, as we know, and then we get the object pointer or the window pointer that contains this object. So this looks like a really nice debug name for this created object. And the same thing here. I don't know why, but it's only fixed itself. Now this is the one that I just fixed, right? This is the one that I just fixed. But there were two others that were also wrong. Nobody understands. These are behind it. Well, that's a buffer. So it's probably a uniform buffer then. I'm really only interested in images, textures. I don't know how to filter for that. There's obviously a lot wrong here. What the hell is this? I think those two braces are like reversed or something. Should also look into that one, I guess. Undefined, also very interesting. Created object with an undefined index. It's not going perfectly. I'm pretty confused that it looks like I have now sampler and these are textures. So we have sampler, image view and MVH image, and they all moved from after to before. Well, I guess it works then, right? All the textures are working. Let's see if I have a Vort 3 here. This is in, I don't know what I was running. Grab Vort 3. Nope. That's probably FRC then. No, it's not. It's not FRC. It says no word 3 in my debug output. Well, not. It's not part of the debug name. Okay. Well, yeah. Maybe not. It shouldn't. Yeah, I'm using round angles when it is a logical device, I think. So mDescriptor pool is part of the logical device. And the square bracket means that it is a window pointer. One thing like this is we have a frame resources list and then the frame resource index. So you have currently 5 frame resources, so from F0 till F4. And then the frame resource is, for example, the command pool, and then this is again the window pointer. No, this does not look good. Does it? It does look good, sorry. Okay, the undefined is really weird. Plus it's after the window pointer again. What like that? This one also looks really weird. Doesn't it, Roman, doesn't it distract you? Because I'm talking in English. I would say that distracts you. Maybe I should put on some good music that I like. I'm listening to music, but I cannot plug it through because it's probably copyrighted. But I have music that is that I can play that is good for programming. Yeah, I should leave more or less, I think. I'm going to visit my parents on Sunday afternoons. So this is a bit strange. I think maybe I can find the ones that are strange. Excusez-moi. By grabbing it like this. and then finding the exact debug name. It's going to do we have something that says created object, right? And then always a space and always a quote. And then we get something else that is not going to include quotes. Pretty sure about that until the end. Debug names don't have quotes. So anything but a quote, any number of times, followed by, well, that's the end of the debug name, followed by a quote, and then other stuff. If I replace that with my match, then I should get only the debug names. What did I do wrong here? R is immediately like that. Yeah, I guess. And then the hexadecimal values are not really interesting, so I'm going to substitute all the 0x. Yeah, just immediately. So it seems they are all 5 something. Oh, there's a 7f there. Okay, but basically 0 to 9 or A to F. And then those pointers are all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This one as well. I think that should work. Yep. And then we can sort them and make them unique. What? You can sort them, I mean, and then make them unique. And then I really want that, well, anything that, let's not print things that look correct. And that means that, yeah, almost everything looks correct. This is like a local inside a function. I'm mostly concerned by this thing here. I don't even need to filter it anymore. I can just see it by hand, I think. Okay, something really weird is going on here. Oh no, it's not. This is a debug name, believe it or not. But yeah, this clearly shows, I think, that the hex is at the end. If there is a hex, it's at the end. Nobody knows what this is. That's definitely weird. It seems like we had some kind of prefix and then absolutely nothing and a null pointer. These are still wrong. So yeah, hex followed by a dot is suspicious. So let's just grab for the hex thing. And then followed by a dot. So these things are still wrong. And they have all to do with imgui for some reason. But I'm just stopping now and going to my parents. That I'll fix these as well, I guess. Let's fix all the debug names while I'm at it. There were more things wrong, right? Like inverted square braces and the one at the top. Yeah. Okay. Well, peoples, sorry to have to turn off your working background sounds. Maybe you can play one of my 5-hour old streams. It's still on YouTube. Okay. I'll be back later in the evening today, and then I think I'll finish these debug names. Where's my OBS here?